Hello everyone, welcome back to LaDenser Crochet's. My name is Liz and I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited and thankful to all of you that are subscribing to my channel. We just hit 10k subscribers, you guys. We are headed to 11k. We may actually be at 11k. So thank you very much to all of you that are watching, commenting, sharing, liking and subscribing. If you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Kindly subscribe, hit the subscribe button and let's get into making this top that I hope you're going to enjoy. Once you're done recreating your top, remember to tag me on my social media pages. I'll be reposting your work as usual. So let's get into it. I've made two versions of this top. We have the cropped version. This one is cropped and it's a full coverage top, only that it has a small opening on the back part and some straps right here. Then we have the waist length version. So this one covers up to the waist. Same design, only that this one is longer, the other one is shorter. And with that opening at the back. For the short version, I started with 55 chains. For the long version, we're going to start with 65 chains. And we're going to work two separate panels. We're going to work the front and the back panel. And that means you're going to take your bust measurement. In my case, I'm working a bust of 36. So take your bust measurement and divide it by 2. And this is going to give you 18. So 118 will represent the front. The other 18 will represent the back panel. Now, after getting the front panel, which is 18, we're going to again divide it by 4. So get your bust measurement, divide it by 2. Whatever you get, again divide it by 4. And whatever you get right there is what we're going to work with. After dividing my 18 by 4, I'm getting 4.5. And now this is in inches. And so the 4.5 is going to be our reference point. That means the front panel is divided into 4 sections, and each section will be 4.5. If your bust is 40, you're taking 40 divided by 2 to get half of it, which is 20. And then you're taking 20 divided by 4, which is 5. So you're going to have 5 inches in the 4 sections of the front panel. And so on for all the other measurements. These are the requirements: a medium weight yarn, a 4.0 millimeter crochet hook, a pair of scissors, some stitch markers, a yarn needle, and tape measure. Using your hook and your yarn, start with a slip knot. And I'm making the longer version, which is 65 chains. If you want to make the shorter version, chain 55. This is standard for all the sizes. So I'll begin with my 65 chains. Once you have your chains ready, I have my 65. I'm going to block off the 65th chain and chain one more. Then go into that chain that I'm holding, the 65th, and do a single crochet into that chain. Into the next chain, do a single crochet. Do a single crochet into the next. Those are 3. And do 7 more for a total of 10. 7 more single crochets for a total of 10. Those are my 10 single crochets. All the other chains are each going to get 1 half double crochet to the end of row 1. So yarn over, go into the next chain, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops. Yarn over, go into the next chain, pull a loop, pull through all the loops for the half double crochet. And now do the half double crochets to the end of row 1. At the end of row 1, I have 10 single crochets and 55 half double crochets. If you're doing the shorter version, you're going to have 10 single crochets, 45 half double crochets. Now we chain 1 and turn to begin row 2. And each half double crochet is going to get 1 half double crochet. So we're going to begin with the first stitch, yarn over, go into that first stitch, pull a loop, and yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops. Then work 1 half double crochet till you have placed a half double crochet on top of the previous half double crochets. Once you have your last half double crochet, you're going to change to single crochets now to finish row 2. So in every single crochet in both loops, place a single crochet. So this right here is the last stitch, so go into that stitch and place your last single crochet, chain 1 and turn to begin row 3. Place a single crochet in both loops for a total of 10 single crochets. So 1, now change to half double crochets and place 1 half double crochet into every stitch to the end of row 3. Be careful not to miss the last stitch because it's not that visible, it's right here. So yarn over, go into that stitch, pull a loop, and yarn over, pull through all the loops. Count your stitches to make sure that you don't forget any stitch. We are done with row 3. Chain 1, turn to begin row 4. And row 4 is worked the same way as row 2. Row 5 will be worked the same way as row 3. And we're going to repeat these rows till you have a total of 8 rows. Repeat row 2 and 3 till you have 8 rows in total. I'm done with my first 8 rows. This is the bottom part of our panel. This is the upper part. At this point, you're going to need to measure, see the width of your work. So when I'm measuring this one without stretching, it's around 2.8. I'm going to give this a bit of a stretch and see whether it will get me to 4.5, which is my required measurement. When I give this a bit of a stretch, it's getting me to around 3.8. So I'll need to work 2 more rows in order to get maybe to 4.5. So I'll work the 2 more rows, but before then, you're going to get your work, and from this upper part, you're going to count 20 stitches, and then you mark the 20th stitch. So count 20 from here. Remember, this is a stitch right here. So you're counting this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So on the 20th stitch, place your stitch marker. Then from the 20th stitch, you're going to count 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then mark the 5th. And this is also standard for all the sizes. So now we begin row 9. Or whatever, yeah, it's row 9 for everyone. So chain 1 and turn to begin row 9. We're going to work 10 single crochets in the first 10 stitches, 1 in each of the stitches. Then we change to half double crochet and we work 1 half double crochet until we get to the stitch before the first stitch marker. When you get to the first stitch marker, you're going to pull it out, and then you're going to place 5 single crochets into the next 5 stitches. That is the end of row 9. Chain 1, turn to begin row 10. Now row 10, you begin with a single crochet and work 1 single crochet for a total of 5. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we change back to half double crochets. Work half double crochets till you get to the point where the single crochets begin, and when you get there, you're going to work your last 10 single crochets to the end of row 10. After the 10th row, I'm going to measure again to see whether I've gotten to 4.5, and I'm going to measure this part right here. Without stretching, I'm at 3.5. When I stretch this, don't stretch it out too much. When I stretch this a little bit, I'll get to around to almost 5, and 4.5 and 4 and 5, there's no big difference, and therefore those 10 rows are my first section of the front panel. Now we're going to do the second section. The second section is going to be 10 rows working up to this point. The third will also be 10 rows. So that means I'll do a total of 20 rows in the middle. I've marked the end of the first 10 rows, and from this point I'm going to work a total of 20 rows. If you've worked a total of 12 up to this point, you're going to take 12 multiplied by 2 and you're going to work 24 rows. If you've gotten 15 rows, you're going to take the 15 that you've started with multiplied by 2 to get 30. So in my case, I'll do 20 more rows, then I'll come back. So here we chain 1, and we just work in rows up to this point, a total of 20 in my case. Yours could be 8, they could be, if you started with 8, you will multiply by 2 and work 16. If you started by 9, you will multiply by 2 and work 18. If you started by 10, multiply by 2, work 20. If you started by 11, multiply by 2 and work 22. Once you're done with those rows, I'll come back and we'll continue from there. I'm done with the 20 rows of the middle section, and this is what we have. So this is the extension that goes up to the shoulders, the top of the shoulders. This will be on above your bust. This is the waist part. Now, on this side, I had 2 rows before I worked the 20. So I'm going to do 2 more rows on this side. So in total, in this part, I'm going to have a total of 24 rows. So if you are done 3 rows right here, you're going to do 3 more on this side. If you are done 2, you'll do 2 like me. If you are done 5, you'll do 5 more rows. And that is going to give me a total of 24 rows in this middle section before I can work this extension on the other side. So chain 1 and turn, then begin with the 10 single crochets. Then followed by half double crochets, and when you get into the top, you should have 5 single crochets in the end. So work till you have the 5 single crochets remaining, and then at the end place your 5 single crochets. Then you're going to chain 1, turn 5 single crochets, half double crochets in the middle, then 10 single crochets. I'll meet you once I'm done with my 2 rows. Once you get to the top, we're going to do this extension on the other side. We had 20 stitches here, so we're going to chain 20. Then after you get to 20, you're going to chain 1, then go into the 20th stitch with a half double crochet. Then all the stitches all the way till you get to this point should be half double crochets. That's my 20th stitch. So now we work on this one, and we are changing from single crochets to half double crochets, and work your half double crochets till you get to where the single crochets at the bottom begin. Then do your 10 single crochets at the bottom. That will be row 1 of the extension, and because we had 8 rows on this side, we should also have 8 rows on this side. So this is row 1. I'm going to do this row and 7 more in order to get to 8. Same way we did the first 8 rows. After the last 8 rows, you're going to chain 1 and cut off the yarn. You can leave a tail for joining this part to the back panel. That's really short, but I'll deal with it. So right here we have the front panel completely done. Now we begin the back panel, and to be able to work the back panel, you're going to get the total number of rows that you've done for the front panel. So you need to count the rows that you've done, the total number of rows, and then you're going to take that number minus 5. So in my case, I have 41 rows. So I'm going to take 41 minus 5. Let me show you. So I have 41 total number of rows for the front panel were 41. So I'll subtract 5. And this will give me 36. Then I'm going to take the 36 and divide it by 2, and this will give me 18 rows. So we're going to work, I'm going to work 18, then 5, then 18 for the back panel. I'm going to show you how we're going to work these rows. So if your rows are, say, 45, you'll take 45 minus 5, you'll get 40. Then you'll take 40 divided by 2, and you'll get 20. So you're going to work 20, 5, 20 for your back panel. Let's get started on the back panel. Start with a slip knot and chain 65. If you began with the 55, then chain 55. So I began with 65, so that is the starting chain for the front panel was 65. So for the back panel is also going to be 65. So I have 1, 2, 3. So I'll do up to 65. And then we're going to do 4 rows. After the 65 chains, chain 1, hold in the 65th chain, then go there with a single crochet into the 65th chain, do a single crochet, then do 10 single crochets. So we're just beginning the same way we began the front panel, and you're going to work a total of 5 rows. Same way we did the beginning part of the front panel. Do 5 rows, and I'll meet you once I'm done with my 5 rows. These are the first 5 rows of the back panel. We're going to do the 6th row, and we begin with a chain 1 and turn. Then we're going to work a total of 40 half double crochets. Now row 6 ends here, so we chain 1 and turn to begin row 7. And in row 7 we're going to begin with a reduction. Go into that first stitch with a single crochet. Do not complete the single crochet, so you just pull in a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull a loop. You'll have 4 loops on the hook, then yarn over, pull through all the loops. So now the other stitches will each get 1 single crochet. At the end of row 7 you should have 39 half double crochets. Place a half double crochet in the last stitch of row 7. Chain 1, turn to begin row 8. Then we're going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch until we have 2 stitches remaining. So right here I have 2 stitches remaining. I'm going to reduce them into 1. So what you do is yarn over, go into the second last stitch, pull a loop. Do not yarn over, go into the last, pull a loop. Then yarn over, pull through all the 4 loops. Chain 1, turn. We begin row, this is row 9 with a reduction again. Reduce. So go into that stitch, pull a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull a loop. Yarn over, pull through all the 4 loops, then work 1 half double crochet to the end. And we found out that I'm supposed to work 18 rows, then 5, then 18. Right now I'm in row 9, sorry, I'm in row 9, and I'm going to reduce like this until I get to row 18. If your rows were 20, you're going to reduce until you get to row 20. If they were, say, 16, you're going to reduce until you get to 16. I'll meet you after the reduction. So this is what we have after the 18 rows. Next we're going to do the 5 rows, and the 5 rows will be rows of no increase or decrease. So we're just going to place 1 half double crochet in every stitch for a total of 5 rows. After the 5 rows, this is what we have. Now we are decreased at this point, so on the other side we're going to increase. So I've done 18 rows up to this point, but this part was 5 rows, then there was 13 rows of decrease, so we're going to have 13 rows of decrease, then the 5 rows right here. Let me show you how to increase. We are increasing at this point. I've marked the end of the 5 rows just to keep in tabs with the counting of the rows. So chain 1 and turn. Do one half double crochet into every stitch till you get to the end of the row. So at the end of the row, I need to pull out the stitch marker just so I can place 2 half double crochets into that stitch. So 1 and 2, and that's our first increase. I'll continue marking that point because I don't want to lose count of my rows. Then now we begin row 2 of the increase. Chain 1 and turn. Still increasing on this side, we're going to place 2 half double crochets into that first stitch. Then all the other stitches get 1 half double crochet. Then you're going to increase until you have 13 rows. So I'm in row 2 of the increase. I'm done with the increase rows, and the total number of stitches that I have up to this point are 40. The whole of this chain was 65, and therefore we're going to work a row till we get to this end, and when we get here we're going to work an extension with 25 chains. So at this point we're going to chain 1, then work 1 half double crochet into every stitch till you get to the end. At the end, do not increase because that's where we're going to do the extension. This is the last stitch. Place a half double crochet, then chain 25. If you're doing the shorter version, you're going to chain 15. I have the 25, so I'll turn my work and I'll chain 1, then go in the 25th stitch with a single crochet and work a total of 10 single crochets, just like we were working on the other side. So that's the first. I'll work 9 more for a total of 10. Then all the other stitches are going to be just half double crochets. And this is our first row of that extension. I'm going to do a total of 5, just like I did on this other side. So I'll meet you once I'm done with my 5 rows of the extension of the back panel. I'm done with the back side, and I've just cut off the yarn and left a tail. This is the upper part and this is the lower part. This is the open back. Now we're going to get the front panel and we're going to join them together. So this is how you put the 2 panels together. Then we're going to leave some stitches on this side and on the other side for the sleeve part of the top. And what I'm going to do is I'll count 25 stitches on this side, on this panel, and 25 on this panel from the top part. Then I'll mark with the stitch marker, and then I'll also mark the last part right here, then join. So let me just mark my points. I've marked the points where we're going to join. So we're going to join from the stitch marker to the bottom stitch marker, and the same applies to the other side. But first we're going to join the top part. So get your yarn needle, and then we're going to stitch this together. So there, those two sides are joined together at the top. Then we can put a knot right here. Put a knot. And then we're going to hide the remaining tail inside the stitches. Once you're satisfied the tail is well hidden, you can cut off whatever remains. Go on, hide this other tail. These two parts are joined now. So we start joining on the side. So I'll begin with the stitch that has the stitch marker, and I can pull this out. I like to put a knot at that point. Then I'll work over this and I'll attach stitch by stitch, like the corresponding stitches. I'll sew them together while working over the tail. I just finished attaching both sides of the top, and now we can turn this to the right side. So this is the front part, this is the back open part, and now we're going to do an edging from this point all the way around till we get back to this point. Then we're going to do another edging at the back part before we attach the straps. So get your hook and yarn. We reattach right here on the first row, on this row right here. So put your hook through, grab a loop and chain one. Then into the stitches, just place one single crochet. At the top, you're going to skip this part, move to the half double crochet row, and each half double crochet is just going to get one single crochet. So just one single crochet in each of the half double crochet rows. At the corner right here, we don't place anything. We move to the stitches on the other side and place one single crochet into each of the stitches till we get to this part right here.
Once you do your last single crochet, you're going to place a slip stitch onto this row. On the other side, slip stitch, chain 1, and cut off the yarn. We're done with the edging on the top part of the top, and that's what we have. Then we're going to do the edging at the back. For the edging on the back, we will not begin on this side, we'll begin on the inner part this side. Place your hook inside that first stitch and grab a loop, then chain 1. Then we're going to do, so here we're doing the first single crochet in the first stitch, then we're going to skip the next, do a single crochet into the third stitch, skip the next one, a single crochet into the next, then skip this, move on to the next one, do a single crochet, skip the next one, and then do a single crochet. So you're going to skip until you get to this corner. Skip, then do a single crochet, skip, single crochet, finally we skip the last one and we start working on the half double crochet rows, and each row gets 1 single crochet. Each half double crochet gets 1 single crochet. At the corner we skip the corner stitch and do a single crochet, skip, single crochet, skip, single crochet, then skip another single crochet. Go on skipping till you get to the end. Finally we work the last single crochet in the last stitch, chain 1, and we're going to do the final row, and the final row is just going to be 1 single crochet into every stitch that we've worked. So just work 1 single crochet in every stitch to the end, all the way around to this end. Don't worry if your work is folding at this point. That's the point of it. That's the point of it. We want to decrease such that when you wear it, it fits perfectly at the back part. At the end, don't cut off the yarn. We're going to do the strap from that point, from that end. So begin by chaining 3, and the chain 3 acts as our first double crochet. Then do 4 more double crochets for a total of 5. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then chain 1, 2, 3, turn. That's our first double crochet in the first stitch. Move on to the second stitch, do a double crochet. Into the third, do a double crochet. Do a double crochet into the fourth, and a double crochet into the chain 3 stitch that we began with. Chain 3, turn. Row 3 is the same as row 2, so a double crochet in the second stitch, a double crochet into the third, into the fourth, and into the chain 3 stitch. You have the 5th double crochet. You're going to work as many rows as possible until you get the length of a strap that you want. I did a total of 50 on this side and 50 on the other side, and this is what you're going to end up with. This strap that will tie the back part of your top like this. So go on, complete the straps, and once you're done with the straps, you'll be done with your top. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the tutorial. If you've liked this top, or if you've liked the tutorial, kindly give it a thumbs up, leave a like, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. See you in the next tutorial.